Good evening, everyone. Welcome to Ladies Vespers. So this evening, we're going to have special music and praise and worship with Justin and Jessica. So please join them in singing. Thank you.
A few songs. Sing higher. Higher than the mountains that I face, stronger than the power of the grave, constant in the trial and the change. This one thing remains. One thing remains. Your love never fails and never gives up, never runs out on me. Your love never fails and never gives up, never runs out on me. Your love never fails and never gives up, never runs out on me. Your love. And on and on and on and on it goes. Yes, it overwhelms and satisfies my soul. And I never ever have to be afraid. This one thing remains. One thing, this one thing remains. Your love never fails and never gives up, never runs out on me. Your love never fails and never gives up, never runs out on me. Your love never fails and never gives up, never runs out on me. Your love. In death, in life, I'm confident and covered by the power of your great love. I know my debt is paid, and there's nothing that can separate my heart from your great love. In death, in life, in death, in life, I'm confident and covered by the power of your great love. I know my debt is paid, there's nothing that can separate my heart from your great love. Your love never fails and never gives up, never runs out on me. Your love never fails and never gives up, never runs out on me.
For
spoke a word, you were singing over me. You have been so, so good to me. Before I took a breath, you breathed your life in me. You have been so, so kind to me. And oh, the overwhelming, never-ending, reckless love of God. Oh, it chases me down, fights till I'm found, leaves the 99. I couldn't earn it, I don't deserve it, still you give yourself away. Oh, the overwhelming, never-ending, reckless love of God. Yeah. When I was your foe, still your love fought me. You have been so, so good to me. When I felt no worth, you paid it all for me. You have been so, so kind to me. Oh, the overwhelming, never-ending, reckless love of God. Oh, it chases me down, fights till I'm found, leaves the 99. I couldn't earn it, I don't deserve it, still you give yourself away. Oh, the overwhelming, never-ending, reckless love, God. There's no shadow you won't light up, mountain you won't climb up, coming after me. There's no wall you won't kick down, lie you won't tear down, coming after me. There's no shadow you won't light up, the mountain you won't climb up, coming after me. There's no wall you won't kick down, lie you won't tear down, coming after me. There's no shadow you won't light up, mountain you won't climb up, coming after me. There's no wall you won't kick down, lie you won't tear down, coming after me. Oh, the overwhelming, never-ending, reckless love of God. Oh, it chases me down, fights till I'm found, leaves the 99. I couldn't earn it, I don't deserve it, still you give yourself away. Oh, the overwhelming, never-ending, reckless love of God. And oh, the overwhelming, never-ending, reckless love of God. Oh, it chases me down and fights till I'm found, leaves the 99. I couldn't I don't deserve it, still you give yourself away. Oh, the overwhelming, never-ending, reckless love of God. You may be seated.
I don't think we could have started this evening any better. Thank you, Justin and Jessica. So this evening, I have the joy and pleasure of introducing our speaker, Fiorella Meidinger. Fiorella is the wife to Carl and the mother of two beautiful boys, Maddox and Marshall. Fiorella has been a member of our church, Forest Lake, for over 20 years. Many of us call her friend. We all call her church family. When I think of Fiorella, I think of light and love. And Fiorella has asked for a special song, so Jessica is going to sing for us.
Fighting voices in my mind that say I'm not enough. Every single lie that tells me I will never measure up. Am I more than just the sum of every high and every low? Remind me once again just who I am, because I need to know. Ooh, oh, you say I am loved when I can't feel a thing, and you say I am strong when I think I am weak. You say I am held when I am falling short, and when I don't belong, oh, you say I am yours. Oh, I believe, yes, I believe what you say of me. I believe the only thing that matters now is everything you think of me. In you I find my worth, in you I find my identity. Ooh, oh, you say I am loved when I can't feel a thing. You say I am strong when I think I am weak. You say I am held when I am falling short, and when I don't belong, oh, you say I am yours. And I believe, oh, I believe what you say of me. Oh, I believe. Taking all I have, and now I'm laying it at your feet. You'll have every failure, God. You'll have every victory. Oh, you say I am loved when I can't feel a thing, and you say I am strong when I feel I am weak. You say I am held when I am falling short, and when I don't belong, oh, you say I am yours.
it's me.
He was good looking, tall, dark, and handsome. A lot of qualities that may call your eyes' attention. He was a junior, and I was a sophomore in academy. And he talked to me. Out of all the girls there, he talked to me. However, he started then talking to a few other, and then all the girls. But soon enough, none of the girls really wanted to talk to him, or the guys. He had what you may say, maybe he was a little arrogant. It's not a good quality to have. So not many people wanted to be his friend. What would Jesus do? What would Jesus do if he sees somebody that doesn't have friends? So I became his friend. He wanted to take our friendship to the next level, and I kept denying him. But he was very insistent of it. And I was very insisting in denying him. You see, at this point in my life, I had not had a boyfriend yet. I had had a first kiss, which is like a whole other Vespers. No, a quarter of a Vespers. But I hadn't had a first boyfriend. At this point in my life, I still dreamt of someone who was fun, who wanted to spend time with me and my friends, who loved my family, who maybe wanted to wear matching clothes and skip down the promenade together. Is that too much to ask for a first boyfriend? Okay, maybe. But still, even if he didn't want to do all that stuff, he still did not qualify for my first boyfriend experience. How many of you in school got sent to study hall? No, just me? Of course, figures. So I got sent to study hall because my grades were so great. And I went to an academy, which is a boarding school. And because of the schedule, that was at nighttime, during open gym, when all the fun was going on. So I would go to study hall in the library, and he was there too. No big deal. He couldn't talk to me there because we had to be quiet. But sometimes we were let go at the same time. No big deal. We're all going to the gym. And one time, I needed to go to the bathroom. No big deal. I've gone many of times to the bathroom. I know how to do it. But then he followed me in, and he turned off the lights. And at first, I thought he was joking around, and I was like, hey, what's going on? And he said, oh, you like it with the lights on. He started kissing me very tight. And soon I was on the floor. He laid me down. He had both my hands up with one hand, and his other hand was touching me everywhere. Places I had never been touched before. And at that moment, I was frozen. I was petrified. I couldn't even speak. I couldn't scream. I couldn't say stop. All I did was cry, and all I could think was, this will never be the same. I feel unworthy of anybody now. He stopped. Something made him stop. I don't know what. He stopped and he said, "You don't like this?" Duh. I don't know what gave it away, my tears or my petrified face or frozen body. So he put me back up, and I started walking away. I wanted to run, but I didn't want to scare him. I didn't know what else he would do. I was thinking if I can just get out of the bathroom, maybe somebody will be in the hallway. I made it past the door of the bathroom. Nobody was there. And I started walking. And so my heart starts going, dun, 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 dun. I couldn't hear anything else but my heart. It was just beating hard. And I kept walking down the hallway. If I could just make it through the double doors, I could go outside, and then maybe somebody would be outside. I was so scared to turn around and him grab me. I made it to the doors. But right as I opened the door, he stopped me. He made me look at him, and he put his hand in between the double metal doors. And with his other hand, he threatened to slam his fingers, because his hands were the ones that had just done that to me. Not him, his hands. His hands were at fault. Inside my head, I'm like, yes. But I was scared. He also threatened to do other stuff, awful things to himself. And there was no one there. I was just scared. And so I said, no, don't do it. I forgive you. It's okay. We can just look past this. He said a lot of things. I don't remember every word, but I know I was really scared. And he was concerned now that I wouldn't want to be his girlfriend. So I accepted to be his girlfriend. Let me clarify something. I was scared to death. I didn't want to be his girlfriend. This is now my matching outfits and skipping down into the sunset. But I thought, if I just give in right now to whatever he wants, maybe he won't rape me next. Maybe I'll just wait till things slow down in a few days and then break it off, try to figure out a way out. But it didn't get better. A few days after, I was walking to my friend's house, because I didn't live in the dorm. We live in a house right next to the dorm. And as I'm walking to my friend's house, somebody dressed in black jumps out and puts his hand on me and drags me into the bushes. It never got better. Throughout this year, because that's how long we were together, he brainwashed me. And with that, there's so many things. Before him, I thought I was a strong young girl, because I was 15 or 16. I would have never allowed anybody to touch me. They knew me as the girl who would say, "Don't touch my body." But when things come like that, it's a different story. Throughout the year, I felt guilt. I felt worthless. I felt unworthy. I felt scared. I felt mad. I felt like I deserved it. I felt depressed. I felt something I wouldn't want to admit, but at times I felt like I liked it. This was my normal. This is all I knew. And then at one point, not because God wasn't there, but at one point I got extra energy. Something happened. We were in the hallway, and it was a Friday evening, so that means everybody was ready for the weekend. They all ran to the cafeteria. Yeah! And I was trying to run too, because I knew that if I was left behind, I didn't know what would happen in the hallway. But he was quick. And he grabbed me, and he had me against the wall. He had me held against the wall as usual. But then somebody was passing by. And so he just stood in front of me like this so that I couldn't get out. He stopped, grabbing me like that. But he stood in front of me and waving hi to this friend who thought we were probably just making out, like a happy couple. In that moment, thank God, I'm 4'11". He was like this against so that I wouldn't get out. I ran through here. Off I went. And I left my backpack. Remember, it's the weekend, so I have like big books. This is high school. No internet yet, or maybe internet, but not like now, What was in there? I don't know, like history book or science or I don't know, whatever I studied there. I'm really good at the stuff. That's why I always went to study hall. But he didn't like what I did. So I just got out to the outside and I started walking. I don't know what got into me that day, but I was just walking. And I hear the door slam. Whoa! And I'm like, mm-mm. And he starts cursing at me as usual, but normally not in front of people. He must have been really mad. He started telling me what a horrible, dirty person I am and calling me names, and he wanted me to stop walking away. And I was ignoring him, but thank goodness I turned around because he was so mad. And remember, he was strong, that my backpack that was so heavy, he threw it far. And when I turned around, and this is also a good thing, I've never been good in sports. So when you throw the ball at me, instead of me going like this, or like this, or like this, I go like this. And that's exactly what happens. So being not good in sports sometimes comes in handy. So I went like this instead of trying to catch it. And it hit the ground. It was heavy. Boom. And I don't know. I was just confident that day. I picked it up and I said, "Thank you." And I continued walking. Oh, he was mad. He was so angry. He started walking next to me and standing in front of me, but we weren't in a hallway, we were outside. So I kept walking around him and telling him, "You're in my way. That's okay, I'll walk around you." And off I went to the side. We got to an area that in the world of academy means a lot, but anybody who sees it means absolutely nothing. It means the floor, the ground, the air, the grass. We have an imaginary line that boys can't pass, or on the other side, that girls can't pass. Now remember, he's big, tough, and strong, and almighty when no one is around with me. But this is outside, so he wouldn't dare pass by, because if there was a teacher or somebody that could get him in trouble, he would be in really deep trouble. So he stood there because there were some bushes, and I couldn't go, not that I couldn't go through, but at this point, I just had it, and I grabbed his shirt, and I know I ripped it because I heard I must have been really mad at that moment, because I just screamed at him, and I grabbed him, and I just used all my energy that I had held, and I passed out to the ground, and I couldn't get up. And all he does is say, "Shut up, get up, and talk to me." He's not screaming it, because now we're even closer to the cafeteria. Anybody could hear. But I'm just laying on the floor with tears coming out and with no strength whatsoever. And then one of my friends, thank God, passed by. And she says, "Fiorella, are you okay?" And just like in the movies, that was like all of a sudden, this energy. And I grabbed onto her hand and I said, "Please help me." And I got up and we walked away. He was mad. He was on the ground, not passing the line, but on the ground, and he kept going on the ground, and you could hear it all the way far. That's how mad he was. And I don't know who else was there, but it was a few girls, and this is the first time I said anything about what was happening. My biggest mistake was that I didn't tell anybody. I didn't speak out. I was scared. And we broke up many times throughout this year, but I will go back to him regardless of anything, because nobody was holding me accountable to it. And he could just run my world. But now people knew. What could he do? It put him in a bad situation. He couldn't just run me around like before. Thankfully, he was not very smart. And he stole money from the treasurer's office. So he got kicked out. Praise God. I don't wish bad on him, actually. Crazy to say. I do hope that he is a better person, that he realizes what he's done, that maybe he got some therapy, and that he's happily married. I don't hate him. I hate what he did to me, but I'm not sure what happened in his life for him to turn that way. It's not an excuse. It's never an excuse. Before he left, though, the night that he stole the money is what happened there, what you saw. He broke into my house, into my room, and I was halfway naked somehow. He put his hand on my mouth, and that's how I woke up, with him and a flashlight looking over me. And even after that, he stopped by my house. Oh, he only left because he heard somebody walking by. He stopped by my house before he got kicked out. Where he was supposed to probably be getting in the car, he ran out and came over and gave me a warning. He said, if I ever see you dating anybody else, and I will be watching through those trees, I will come and break his neck. I love you. If I can't be his, then I can't be anybody else's. My next boyfriend was until I was a junior in college. But I was happy. I didn't need somebody. I was happy in my own terms, though. These thoughts of being unworthy follow me most of my life. I allowed those thoughts to become me. I allowed those thoughts to be me. Unworthy. Yet God looks at me and he's like, no, honey, you are worth it. You're worth everything to me. And I knew that, but I couldn't feel it. I made a lot of wrong choices. I dated a lot of wrong guys. Not all the guys, but I dated a lot of wrong guys. But I never wanted to get married. What was the point of getting married? True love doesn't exist. It's just what you see in the movies, and even in the movies, it's fake. I come from a family where there's a lot of broken marriages. Love is not real. I mean, true love. I love everybody. I meet you and I'm like already loving you. But in love, unconditional love, the love that God has for us, besides God, is not real. That's what I saw. Many of you know who my husband is, Fiorella Meidinger. If you don't know him, then know him because he's super cute. He's wonderful. And I don't know how to explain this. I marry him, but I know that I don't and I didn't deserve him. He's a gentleman, and he knew what my life was before him. But he also knew that one day I was down on my knees. This is at the age of 26. 26. This all happened when I was 16. This, what I'm about to tell you, didn't happen until 10 years after. I was down on my knees crying because I know that I was living the life that God did not want me to live. And I could excuse it in every way. I used to go clubbing all the time. I like dancing. I still do. I don't go clubbing anymore. But I used to use the excuse, I just like to dance. I'm Peruvian. It's the Latin in me, you know? And I used to excuse that, well, I don't drink, I don't smoke, I don't do drugs. But still, I was out there, and I know that's not how God wanted me to live. That's not the example that I could give to other people either, right? And that one day, I got down on my knees and I cried and I cried and I cried. And it didn't matter what my mom or my sister had prayed for me and cried for me and explained to me that I should not live my life like that. It didn't matter because I had to accept it for me. Not for somebody else, but for me. And that day happened. And then one day when I was driving on Maitland Boulevard before all the craziness that's now, all of a sudden, I felt this intense happiness and cleanness and just this, I had to stop driving. Because other people in their cars don't know what this crazy lady is doing with all this happiness just shining out of her car. I felt forgiven. And even though I've done a lot of things, it didn't matter. God cleaned me. He said, you are worth it, and I have died for you, and you are clean. Like, I don't deserve it. Yes, you do, because I made you. Take that. As a human, it's hard to get that. But we can fight with him. He's God Almighty. What do you say? Yeah. When I met Carl, I told him I come with a lot of baggage, a lot, carry on, everything, like pay the extra fare, all that. And he said, that's okay. Plus, I need a little seasoning in my life. And I was just like, honey, you're taking the whole rack of seasons. Like, there's paprika and this and that. Like, you're just not taking a little. Let's just salt it a little bit. And he still wanted me. I don't know how I was so lucky to get him, especially after everything that I've done and choosing the guys that I chose. Not that everybody was bad. If you know somebody I dated, please don't think that's everybody. There's been a lot of wonderful people. But I never wanted to marry any of them because I was never in love. My mom said I would tell her, oh, I met this guy. He's a doctor, or he's this, or he's that. And she would say, are you trying to convince me or convince yourself? And I'm like, oh my goodness. Yeah, okay. She said, the day that you meet somebody who you fall in love with, you're going to say, Ma, I met the one. Let me tell you about him. Never mind. I like him anyways. I don't care what you think. Sure enough. But it didn't quite happen like that. I met him one day, and his group of people was going out, and they say, you want to come? I'm thinking come as in like with the group of people. And I was like, sure, I'll go with the group of people. Turns out it was a double date. Yes, I got tricked. But he was so cute. Such a gentleman, and so sweet, and so thoughtful. And I'm like, man, there's still people like this? But he was in California, so I was like, it's too far away. He's a cute little boy. We started texting and this and that and all of that, and then he said he wanted, I went to my mom's to pick up something. I went to their house, and she said, what are you doing? As usual, what time are you going back to your own house? I know you're an independent woman, you pay your own bills, but what are you doing? Please tell me, because I'm your mother. So I say, I'm going out with some friends and this guy I met today. That's it. No, and this guy I met today. Nothing like that. And this guy that's here right now today. And she said, without a second thought, she touched my forehead. She said, "He's the one." And with me, in half a second or a quarter of a second, I said, "What are you talking about? Remember, I don't want to get married. I have no interest. My past is no, and that's okay. I don't even believe in true love, though I love the world." And I was just like, "Hey, Ma." And so I was just like, whatever. And so I was just like, "Okay, love you." And off I went. Well, Carl and I started texting, and then calling every day. And I did not tell my mom because I didn't want her to know that she was right. We started dating in September, and by the next September, we were married. Now, just because God rewarded me with him doesn't mean that life is peaches and cream. We've gone through a lot. We lost a baby. This was at the beginning. We had to deal still with my past because I would still have nightmares, or I would feel like I'm being attacked sometimes. And he just held me and prayed over me. He is the right person for me, no doubt. But like I said, that doesn't mean that is peaches and cream. Over a year ago, I think most of you know that Carl had a stroke. And like I've said before, his chances of being alive, because of the type of stroke that he had, that's not the usual. He had a 15% chance of surviving it. The doctor said that I kind of like not to get my hopes up. He did this, I remember. He said, most people with this type of stroke don't even make it to the hospital. And those that do don't have a good outcome. What do you do with that? But nevertheless, I prayed over him and I kissed him before going into the surgery. And then I just continued praying. I had some people with me, and I'm happy that they were there. But I couldn't even think of who was there. I just had my eyes closed and I kept praying and praying. And then when the doctor came out finally, he started talking and explaining what's going on. They did the surgery, blah, 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 blah. I'm like, what is going on? I don't understand anything that he's saying. I stopped him and I was like, is he alive? And he said, yes, but. And he continued to talk and explain. And I didn't care. I just started hugging him and squeezing this neurosurgeon who's very calm and, straight and this and, calm. And here I am squeezing the life out of him. But he stopped me. And he said, but, and then he going on, which just, I don't know, somewhere there it would go. So I stopped him again and I said, wait, but is he alive? He said, yes, but, and I again squeezed the life out of him. I didn't understand how bad it was and how his life was hanging by a thread. Even though he was alive, the rest of his body wasn't at that moment, pretty much. And then that morning, he had a second stroke, just a few hours later, because this happened at night. And this one had some bleeding. because of the first surgery. And then attack around the same area. And I don't know anything about science, but it attacked around there, but another little different area. And if you know anything about the brain, you know that the brain is like our computer, and our computer, every little thing there means something. On the phone or even smaller things, you put so much information. That means that every dot in there, it means something. It does something for your phone or for your computer or for your watch to work and do all the amazing things that it does. Our brain is even bigger than that. And every time he had a stroke, it would attack a different part of his brain, and it would kill it. He was in a coma. I didn't know at the moment, but they had called for I can't think of the name, organ donor. They were ready just in case. They honestly did not think that he would make it through the next day. His body had endured so much. But yet we pray. I know a lot of you pray with me. Thank you. I know thousands and thousands of people everywhere in other countries were praying. And God saved him. And a few days later, he had 2 more evolving strokes, again attacking a different part. But he surpassed all that. And he's been surpassing everything. He's still alive. He's still with us. Now our lives are now back to normal. He's getting better. His speech is getting better. His process of thinking is getting better, but it's not there. However, this is our new normal. Our new normal is hard on me. And I know a lot of other people have it way worse than we do. I was saying I as a caretaker. But God is good. And all the blessings that he has given us, I take them. And I appreciate them. And I love them. And I'm so thankful for that. For everything. Today, Carl got on the bike, and he started riding the bike for the first time. That was exciting for me. I'm sorry. Good thing you put this here, Jennifer. Thanks. It's a big step for us. It's all the little things. From not being able to even swallow, breathe, talk, look in the right direction, to now getting on a bicycle. God is amazing. And he might never get all the way back to normal, but God is good. And I'll take whatever we can. But you know what? Even though we're going through this, I'm happy that he's still with him, because I love him like I've never loved anybody in my life. He is my first true real love. And to me, this is just our life. I still rather, even if I knew this was going to happen before we got married, I would still marry him. And I still feel rewarded to have him. Through it all, I'm still blessed to have him, even though I did not feel like I deserved him. He was there for me for so many things, and I'm there for him for this. God knew that together we make a team. Team Meidinger. And he knew that we would be there for each other. And he knew that we would love each other truly. And when you truly love each other, then it's just what comes. What comes next just comes. If you have been through a situation like the one I have, it doesn't have to be to that degree, or maybe it's been worse. It's not always about stranger danger. This is a guy that I knew, that I went to school with, that I saw every day, as well as my teachers. I wasn't going to say this, but I'm going to say it. As a little tiny girl, someone in our family also molested me, as well as other family members. It's not always a strange person. As a little girl, I didn't say anything, but I was very tiny. I said it later on in life. But as a bigger person, even if you're scared, remember, if you tell somebody, they're going to hold you accountable to it, and they will help you fight through this together. Because if you keep it as a secret, no one will know, and no one can help you. I feel blessed to be up here sharing my story with you guys, because a lot of you have heard about Carl and what we're going through with Carl, but you didn't know my past and how now it makes more sense for us to be together, because even though I felt unworthy of him and unworthy of God's love, God said, no, I love you just the way you are, and I'll take you with all your scars and all the punches that you've taken, and I'm here for you, and I'm holding your hand, and I'm wiping your tears, and I'm ready whenever you're ready. Remember, our lives doesn't mean that they're going to be easy breezy, but we have God to on our side to hold on to us. And just, I don't say I am beautiful. I don't say that. I feel like I'm not. And I feel that I would sound snobby. But we're going to say it all together. Say it. I am beautiful. Pfft, that's weak. Say it like you mean it, because you are telling God. You're not telling me. I won't think you're snobby. I am beautiful. I am worthy. I love you. You love me? Oh my goodness, you're so sweet. I'm just kidding. Thank you for listening to me today.
Thank you all so much for joining us. Now we're going to have a prayer. And Fiorella doesn't know we're going to do this. But I would like you to come forward and just circle around each other. And we don't have too many moments where it's just us ladies together. And I think we have had a very special time together tonight. After we pray, we're going to eat. So if you feel like you would like to come forward and just pray with us, pray with Fiorella and I, we're going to do that now.
Come love me.
don't think our church has ever looked so beautiful. Dear Jesus, thank you for all these beautiful women in this building. Thank you that we get to call each other church family. Thank you for Fiorella and for her braveness today. Thank you for guiding her and for protecting her while she was on that stage. Thank you for her story, Lord, and for walking her through a dark path in the beginning and showing her light. Be with us, Lord. Watch over us. Thank you for each one of these women. We love you, Jesus. Amen.